Hello and welcome back to this incredible series between Evil Geniuses and OGA Alliance. I'm joined once again by Captain Fluke, and we're going to get into our third and final map of Clubhouse. This is our decider. Good luck, have fun to both teams. And I feel like this is OGA's map.
I mean, it's been hard to call, I think is the fairest point here. It's been so back and forth, yes. Statistically, you would be like, okay, well, OGA good on this map. EG have had some shaky performances recently, but...
It's not even statistically, just the way that I've seen OGA play this map. They just know all the angles that are being opened up. They have a really good idea about how they want to play this. I'm assuming EG may ban out either the Capitao or the Maverick here. I know OGA are big fans of Maverick, and they're pretty good at doing it as well. Kind of one of the few NA teams who have really mastered Mavericking. So we'll see what indeed does happen here. Is EG going to select their ban for the attack, and it is going to be the Jackal again. And not a fan of the Jackal. Is that the third time they banned it?
Get him out of here. They don't want him.
Well,
that's my input.
Yeah. We'll see what EG's defense ban is going to be here. There's a lot of options here for EG. If I was them, I would probably ban the Kayad here, given that there is a Thatcher ban up on the board, and we know that OGA loves a bit of Kayad on this map.
Yeah, it would be too much in the hands of the defenders as well. You just kind of look at the hatches, you look at the positions. Mirror is what's going to be taken out. So it's, I guess, in the OGA court is where they want to kind of remove Kaid. It's such a big operator to have
OGA can make this very defender-sided now, depending
Easily
on their ban. So we'll see what they do. Move off the board. It'll be an Echo, so Maestro and Kaida will both be available. We'll see how that is going to be working out. I think that OGA they love Club. They love it. When I saw them playing against Parallax on this map, I just thought they really had this map down. So we'll have a look what they want to do. CCTV in Cash Room. And I'm wondering if they're going to do their shield strat again, where they put like... Well, I mean, we'll see it if it does happen, but having kind of like a shield facing backwards next to where the garage kind of entryway is upstairs, that little window.
Okay.
And they have it there, so it faces the back window, so the Kayad can sit there and he can trick the wall.
Ah, I get what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out, really. They currently obviously have Forest on the Kai. They're bringing the Valkyrie. They pick off the Maestro to the Valkyrie, so...
I think the Valkyrie's going to break a shield, huh?
Guess we'll see. Guess we'll see the plan in motion, really. Obviously, you know, we're on to the third map at this point. We've had a lot of... Obviously, this is the second third map today. It's been pretty back and forth this play day. Only really one map went... Yeah, out of all the maps we've seen today, only one of them was generally a bit of a sweep. 7-1 was the very opening map
Sonic, to Rogue on border, sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see how this is going to be going down, but this is a very... I mean, even if OGA falls here, I think we can say that they've definitely proven their worth so far against EG to be a worthy contender, and this isn't even OGA at full strength right now.
Yeah.
They have a coach. Not just any coach, it is Execration, he does know what he's doing, but...
You'd hope every coach knows that.
You would hope that, wouldn't you?
You would really hope, wouldn't you? I guess. It's down to what you deem a coach necessary. They're starting their roll, starting their collapse down towards the building. As we saw from EG's attacks on Coastline, they were very good. A lot of it was strung together quite well in the opening three, and then OGA started to find ways to pull back rounds in their favor, and then obviously, eventually, the map. And I'm curious to see which side of EG we see, really. As we said, Clubhouse hasn't often been a great map for them, but if they can attack it with the same ferocity that they attacked the opening three on Coastline, we could start to see some really good rounds from them.
Well, Necrox are going to be mavericking all of this wall open, and I think this is just the best way to do it. When you see just this like insane setup, but no shield being brought, is going to catch out Albanai. Unfortunately, he's going to go down very early on, and this is going to open up some really good stuff already from EG, as they could just make this entire wall soft right now using the Maverick.
Yep, there it goes. It's just a big soft wall now, and they have the buck to be able to smash it open as much as they want if need be. But either way, you know, the defenders will pull completely out of CC at this point. And, you know, it's seeing how you can start to get rid of the rest of it, because this is expected. This wall is always expected to fall.
I mean, OGA have 4 Nitros up on the board, so I feel like they can still kind of afford to let this slip off.
Yeah.
Of course, you have the electrified wall still there. Don't worry, it's safe completely to walk through, although it does look a bit scary the first time, but great droning coming out from EG is already going to find Grixer. That's one of those nitros removed. Another drone coming out up onto those garage balcony as well. He's going to find Forest as well. He's not going to go down just yet to it. He's going to just bring his nitro back upstairs instead.
Well, they're steadily finding their way through, but there's more guns underneath them as they get caught in the rotate round. They droned and pinged the Kaid to force him away from holding the door because, well, you may as well do that rather than take the quick firefight and burn the utility, because you know it's going to force him to rotate if he does get spotted. And here they come flooding into garage. As we said, it's expected to be able to crack the wall open. It's what you do next that is going to swing you the round or not. And so far, they're being pretty quick and steady in terms of getting control of the crossfire on garage. Going for a long-range Capital Bolt there. See if that goes to any avail. In the meantime, Execration rotates round and well, somebody gets caught out on the far side.
We'll see Execration is going to go for that rotate around as well. Forrest desperate to try and find this kill so far onto Lounge. He's going to realize there's someone there, and he will take him down. There goes Geo, and Obey start to slowly bring it into their favor as well. Nitros are going to go out as well, as Forrest moving up. Doesn't have a Nitro of his own, however, Execration has managed to find his way below. The plant starts to go down, but it will be saved by the beautiful frag coming out from NVK. Necros finding one of his own as well. He's going to leave it all into the hands of Execration, but he will be out of it.
Well, had to peek because we weren't sure about the diffuser, and at that point, I mean, it was a little bit sketchy in the dying 15 of that round. I think when smoke started to come out and they went to try and get the diffuser down, and the C4 started to get ripped and torn. As you pointed out, they had a few. They were ready for that kind of fall back and push back against the point from range, and well, EG managed to find themselves in. We're going to double down and go to CCTV yet again, and let's see if Obey bring the shield that you mentioned prior.
I was really hoping for a shield here, personally. I guess with the Maverick on the board, it doesn't make much sense to kind of invest a lot into keeping that wall closed. But we'll see what Obey want to do here, as we do see a CCTV and cash room hold once again. A few mistakes being by Obey that almost actually managed to bring it in for themselves, though. But some really excellent droning for EG, put some really early frags on the board for them.
Setting themselves up so far with a fairly similar build to how they did it before. Obviously, the collapse of Obey almost worked. We saw the wide pullback come down, and they went all the way towards the kind of bar side. I'm curious to see if they'll be as, I guess, caught out in the early droning of EG, because that's something that we've consistently complimented them on. And it's something you're always got to be aware when you go up against EG. They're a good drone team. They're good at finding the information, and as Grixer suffered while he was still staring at his phone, they're good at utilizing that information and closing you down as well. So it's something that you have to be kind of aware of. And I'm hoping to see a little bit more, I guess, awake responses from the side of Obey.
Well, we'll see exactly how that is going to be going through, as we'll see Execration making his bit of a rotate here, fumbling a little bit with it, but there we go. It's going to be made eventually, and we see the same strategy again coming out from Obey, the exact same lineup coming out from their side. I do like the 4 Nitro strategy. I think this is a really good way of taking this. I think this is also a very Nitro-heavy meta in general, and the smoke doesn't really do you many favors in this situation.
Well, they're opening runouts from... Well, I'm not sure, actually, as they reinforce it.
Sure
They do not find it. Capital takes care of the Kaid, and, well, that's all you really had on that wall at this point, so it should be a pretty easy close down and collapse for the side of EG. That's a big loss to take that early.
Execration going to be playing around the bottom of cash to see what you can do here, but the exact same strategy being brought by EG just to completely open up this wall from Necrox. This should be well done from them, but the suppressing fire coming out. Necrox is having a bit of issues trying to open this all up, taking a lot of damage off the board as well. As that Kaya to charge, it's going to start to do a lot of damage to him, but Mo is going to find one as well. Execration does go out of it, just on this rappel as well, so this is good stuff coming out from EG. That's 2 nitros off the board from Obey.
Starting their kind of collapse here, and 2 bodies off is very, very good from EG, and it just shows they're kind of getting better. And it's one of those things about teams when they attack a point over and over again is, well, we saw it on the previous point. The first time they took Hookah, it was good. The second time, it was even better. And it's one of those kind of trade-offs of what do you change? What do you kind of bring to it? There goes the Twitch drone. I like how Mo pulled his drone back to then just watch the Twitcher and Marilyn and get caught there. And Abinai is looking for the firefight as aggressively as he can, waiting for someone to drift a little bit closer in, sees the legs, but doesn't quite hit them as they go straight past. In the meantime, Maverick's taken a huge amount of damage, but has generally done what most that they need to at this point.
Necroc's very, very low HP, but he will start to move his drone up into the site. That's exactly what the situation is EG looking very, very good to actually try and take this round, as they've got plenty of utility on the board, and they have plenty of control. They still got to deal with the guy in Garage Rafters, however, Capital Bolt will go out to do just that, and MVK below will have a nade available, but it's going to be Young who finds Abadai. It's all down to Grixer and Carl to try and deny this. They both have nitros available as well, though. They have a lot of intel available for themselves, and the big disadvantage here for EG is they only have 20 seconds left to go on the clock to try and bring this in. Carl wide peeks down to Cash Des. We'll see one, goes for the down, and goes to confirm the kills. Well, of course, it is a Zofia. He goes below with his Nitro, but he's going to get taken off the board by Mo. Nitro is going to go out to deny the plan. It will be a double kill for Grixer on the round, as now a 2v1. Young will recover the diffuser as well as a triple kill for Grixer. He's going to move all the way up. The time is over, and that's a 1v4 clutch for Grixer.
That was a hell of a clutch there from Grixer. Unbelievable kind of game sense and control to know where you needed to cover, where you needed to push, and the exact moment to do it. Brilliantly played there from a round that for a lot of other people would have been completely unwinnable.
Absolutely flawless from Grixer. Will get the 4K to confirm it for his team, as they'll finally win that CCTV defense, with things were looking really bad for them for a while there. But the 2v5 clutch did come out. That was insane. How did Obey win that round?
Yeah, right? That was, good play, good game sense. And it's those kind of moments where, this is the kind of caliber of these players. And the caliber of these teams is, if you are kind of pushed against the wall, is how can you react? And to be fair, throughout these series, we've seen a fair few of these players have those rounds, have those abilities to, yes, some players have been very consistently getting the opening frags. Abinai and MVK are sprinting towards a finish line that no one even can really see. But at the same time, moments like that are just kind of what define this tier of players. Being in that situation, having the kind of wherewithal to pull yourself back, know that they're probably going to push you from this side, and then you know that this is coming from here, and blah, 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 and do all of that whilst the time is beeping down and you have 5 seconds left. It's just a wonderful, wonderful play.
Well, we'll move into round number 3. It'll be a downstairs defense coming out from Obey Alliance. Interestingly, almost bringing the same alignment here, except they've moved the Valkyrie out of it, and Execration will be picking up the Maestro as well, as we'll have call out on the smoke.
Attackers must locate and defuse
So, but from EG, same lineup, same strategy, same push. We'll see how that does go through for them. Do you like this? Like, if there's a Kayad up, you need to be bringing a Maverick absolutely every single round. It's interesting that there is no Thermite from EG, but it's not exactly necessary.
Yeah, it's the thing about, obviously, this kind of map is too hard destruction is often, I would say, necessary for a lot of points. Okay, necessary is a strong word. It's very good and very nice to have too hard destruct. It gives you options, it gives you kind of plan Bs and plan As sometimes utilize both because of the width of the point and the pressure you can kind of apply and alleviate and such and such. And you look at a point like basement and you're thinking, okay, well, obviously you've got places like dirt, you've got church wall, you know, but then at the same time you've got all the hatches, and you've got to find the balance between using the Hibana and using the Maverick when you do this. Because yes, you can be a little bit more malleable with how you do it. With the blowtorch, you can get, angles on the hatches, you can find a burn hole through, but then at the same time, you've got the Hibana charges, which are slower to crack and slower to create and less reliable than a Thermite. So, it's teams doing trades, and, well, I guess let's see if EG trust the trade.
Macross going to be slowly opening up Moto. Hash not taking any chances right now with going for that whole push, and Vertical will start to get opened up from the breach charges. And looks like we'll see a little bit more work being done here for EG before they're satisfied in what they want to do here. They do want to open up this kitchen hatch, and that may suggest potentially an armory push, but they have no dirt control yet, so it doesn't look like they're too enthusiastic about going for that either. They will manage to take Kayad off the board here. They should be able to get the wall open, the hatch open, sorry.
Well, that is 2 for 2 now on the hatches, and now it's just a matter of trying to do something with it. Modiga's applying the pressure on the far side as Geo drops in and, well, pulls back out away from the church wall. Realize there's not really anywhere to go, doesn't have the sight lines into Moto, and doesn't want to risk his time and his life there. In the meantime, Young is able to open up potentially, I'm curious if this is a crawl hole, they're going to double down, but this means the church wall is going to stay solid, unless they obviously find a Maverick in a lot of time. Yeah, uses both sets of remaining X-Kairos onto dirt to make it a crouch hole at least, and allows some speedier movement, but with 20 seconds, they've really got to find something, and Grixa finds Mo in the meantime. There is Necrox opening up the door to be able to drop in, but he sees the Capitão's corpse, and it's going to be a tight push. In the meantime, the smokes are keeping the man at bay on the far side, so they've got to get aggressive on this close wall. Necrox pushes around and finds Forest, and there's Geo finding another, and MVK finding another. They've completely taken over the site, and they're going to try and get the plant down. And Grix is at least behind enemy lines, but he's got 4 people to get through in this meantime, and now he's got a diffuser to deal with as well. The pings are hot and continual, and he knows exactly where some of them are, but there's still 2 more bodies left unanswered for, and now his position is known to them as well. They have all set themselves up between him and this diffuser and every doorway and rotate possible. The space is getting smaller. He finds one to alleviate the suffering and almost finds the second with some spray, but he pulls just back, and so far EG are playing this perfectly. Keep him at arm's range until you decide to put him in his place.
Absolutely beautiful execute coming out from EG there. Just complete dominance over the site. You where every single person was. Just go for the pre-fire, go for the drop, and take them all out. Absolutely just beautiful from Evil Geniuses there. That is just proof that they are a top NA team, top Pro League team. That is why they're up there. OBE are getting absolutely dominated right now. I mean, realistically, this should be a 3-0 right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say, obviously, it was an astounding clutch in the second round, but it was a clutch. It was a moment where they were trying to make it work, and, you know, it's one of those situations where you obviously, it's not a reliable strategy. It's one of those kind of like, you pull those plays out once and again.
Yep.
Certain players, like Funkers, will occasionally pull those rounds out twice in a row and just do astounding things there. And, you know, it's that kind of balance of like, yes, you won the round, but a lot of other people wouldn't, and, you know, it's a balance. Either way, they're going to opt for Church again. They're going to try and double down here. And one of the things it's worth looking at is obviously the execute came late. It was the, you know, kind of 20-second mark where bodies started to hit the floor, and obviously if 1 or 2 of those hadn't gone their way, which you would hope OBE are going to be a little bit sharper to this time around, it could have been a completely different round.
So, we're getting into round number 4, and we'll see exactly how that is going to go through. We'll have a look. How this is all going to go down. OBE Alliance again, and starting this downstairs defense. Didn't end too well for them last time. EG got a lot of control very early on, and OBE just got completely executed on. I mean, I don't think there's really much else to say other than that. I think with the thing that we've been talking about a lot from like high tier teams in an attack position, that if they are allowed to have all of their utility available to them, that they will just completely dominate the whole spectrum. If you can't take any utility away from that, I think that's generally like defenders have to be very aggressive. They have to do what they want there. They have to be able to take that utility away from attackers and not allow them to deploy it.
Yeah, and you know, it's the kind of breakdown on a map like this as well, is because there's so much space and so much time, and a point like this is so kind of deep as well, how you bait out attackers is in a way, it's a different way of doing it on this point towards every other point, and so far we're not really seeing any of that from OBE, unfortunately.
Just yet, unfortunately. We'll see how EG want to take things here, as continually they will start to open up all of this vertical play, and they'll just start to get control. But I feel like OBE, they really have to be doing some stuff different. I've always thought that Qualifiers kind of goes to the team that's better at impact tracking in general, but I don't think OBE have even had opportunities to impact trick at the moment.
No, they've watched Maverick start to burn things open. They've obviously set the Kai's up there to slow a little bit of the roll, and you would assume that this is just something that, well, there you go. Necrox is steadily making his way through the previous hatch that they did before. It's always nice to have a skilled Maverick player. I think it always generally helps. Pre-fires the close corner to see if there's anyone there, but they're generally pulled back, holding it quite defensively, which is a rare statement to say about OBE.
No, it definitely is a rare statement. We'll see how things go down, but lots of drones making their way into the site from Evil Geniuses, and they're starting to see what exactly kind of push they want to do. But I think with that thermite, their big option here is, of course, armory side push, and that's exactly what they did last time. It looks like they're going to be very concentrated on trying to get these Kayaks up the table as well, as nades going down straight up into the site. We'll see exactly how EG want to execute. They're starting to get into those final 40 seconds. This is where EG needs to start thinking about their push.
Yeah, because obviously if they go down to that final 20, as I said, 1 or 2 goes away, and there's one going away as Grixer gets a C4 against Young. Well, this is where things can start to really fall apart. And VK has doubled up with Mo on the far side now. It's being droned ahead, and they're looking for something to stem some attention away. And there it is. Caught the man as he rotated around. The pre-fire comes out, and they do find the trade. A big moment as they also creep closer to be able to take out Mo. But Mo finds one, and Necrox finds another. Execration finds the trade, but the quick rush onto point puts it in a 1 versus 1. Has to stick the plant, and this has to be Obey's round.
Oh, Gio gets the plant down, but he gets a pistol up, but no! Oh, beautiful pre-fire coming out from Execration. The coach will clutch it. Gio goes down, the counter defuse will come out, and Obey will tie it up 2-2. Oh my god.
That was unreal. If that had worked, I don't know, I would have been kind of beyond words. I think that was... Oh, it was close. It was closer than it should have been.
Very, very close to Gio actually clutching that out. It was the hesitation initially from Execration that he didn't know if Gio was baiting him out or not, but you know he's got to plant that diffuser when that timer has gone to 0-0. Gio had about, I think, about a 2% chance of winning that, but yeah, it was possible. It was possible. Yeah. We'll move through into round number 5. It's going to be the penultimate defense coming out from Obey Alliance. I think, really, with the way that the bans have gone down, if they can't win these next 2 rounds, they're going to be in a pretty bad position. But we also haven't seen Obey attack this so far. And I've already said about how Obey, very, very good at mavericking, and this seems to be the real crux of EG's attacks, is having the good maverick in Necrox.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of way it's come down. Because as we said before, in the first 2 maps, Necrox didn't really have a huge showing, unfortunately. For a player of his kind of caliber, he's not been able to bring himself into the firefight as much as we've seen some of the other members of EG. And at this point, it's good to see him kind of get some run of utility that he is exceptional at and clean consistently. The ability to get those hatches time and time again, and you know that for something that can be quite an integral part of a plan, it's working, is a relief for any team.
I will say this is looking really good for EG because Obey have decided not to go to CCTV. Probably a smart idea from them considering the fact that they've been completely rolled over 2 times in a row there, but only barely managed to, with a great clutch coming, like, no doubt, great clutch coming out from Grixer, but relying on clutches, as we said, is not a real strategy coming through. Obey recognize they cannot hold that CC, so they're going to go to Jim instead, but this is a very, very hard side to hold on to now. And I feel like, you know, EG now have a really good game plan going for them because the real site that was very, very, very close that Obey were, like, decisively winning was that downstairs site, and now they can't go there.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see if they can make something with these top floor points that have, as you said, otherwise kind of eluded them so far. Necrox is wasting no time. Worried about the run out based on not really seeing a huge amount against the wall. And in the meantime, this is EG getting themselves set up, getting all the information they can, pre-firing the windows, seeing if they catch anybody as Necrox gets to work. But they're opening up all of their options, all of their rotations. Forest aggressively bringing the Kaid again.
I like this kind of like layered defense strategy where they just open up the entirety of this gym. And they seem to have already given up Jacuzzi wall, but no, not quite yet. There goes Young. Great run out from Abadai coming out from the strip. And that's exactly the kind of pushes we want to see. Habana already going to go down very early on. That's utility off the board. That's a great entry pick coming out from Abadai. Yet again, this guy's been so good on that entry pick.
Yeah, he's really just kind of been a force to be reckoned with. And to be fair, this is one of the things that we've seen a little bit missing from the OGA. As I said in the previous round, they were kind of uncharacteristically defensive down on the ground floor. They did take it, but I guess the point kind of asked for it a little bit. Whereas Abinai, he's been a bit of a cannon across all of these. He's just kind of exploding around all over the map, finding bodies repeatedly, and you know, it's put them under a lot of pressure now because Necrox being the only hard destruction, the wall not being fully done. Yes, you can still get it with the Maverick, but the time that it takes and what you've still got left to do, and when you're a team that kind of has a habit of hitting these final 15-second plants and you lose your other hard destruction anyway, well, things aren't looking so great.
They've been able to get Jacuzzi Wall open, however, and that is the kind of main entrance that they did need. However, they're not going to be able to get open that bathroom wall at all. They'll be able to do any damage to it whatsoever. Brixer's actually below, and he does still have a Nitro available.
He's just going to wait. He's going to wait, and Abinai is slowed down as he has to wait for the fire to pass on these central stairs. He's going to potentially swing against Capital, but I think the pre-fire makes him quickly realize that's a mistake. However, the man who charges all the way into Jim gets a little bit caught out, and there's Mo who goes down as well. Abinai finds one, and there goes Sappphire as well, and it's all just down in a 1 versus 5 for MVK, and no, for the first time this map, OGA find themselves 1 round up.
And also, like, the most decisive win we've seen from OGA so far. Some really early aggression coming up from them. Scoring kills on the Maverick and the Hibana very early on before they could really put most of their utility down. You've got to be feeling good about that one after OGA just dominating that round. They desperately need this round, however. CCTV was not a good sight for them whatsoever.
Yeah, it really kind of just didn't come together. And I mean, if they're on 3-3 on the turn of the half, and EG go to defense, it's a tough fight for OGA. This is definitely kind of, with the bans that are on board, this feels like it's a little bit more favored to defenders. But at the same time, you know, we've kind of seen these two teams go at each other consistently. And you know, we were close to 3-3 on the previous map. We were on 3-3 on the first map. The fact that they are so continually kind of stressing each other, that's what we predicted in the weird way.
I'm looking forward to OGA's attacks because while I feel this isn't necessarily attacker-sided right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this go 3-3, it feels like OGA should do quite well on their own attack side. They control the pace of the round when they're on their attack. And there's still quite a lot of stuff up, like utility-wise. Like the Thatcher ban should not really affect you when you have a good Maverick, like EG do. And I think that's kind of what they were kind of playing off there when OGA banned the Thatcher. It's like, oh, it's not going to matter that much because we have a good Maverick. So,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's necessarily attacker-sided, but it definitely helps. Grixer has no sight on his MPX. Did he need to bring the MPX? He has a deployable shield now, though. I like this shield.
I mean, it gives you something to, like, play around with, for sure. It gives you the ability to have a little bit more space to what you kind of do here, and there they are, you know, looking a little bit aggressive at first, and, you know, I guess we'll see how this starts to develop and starts to kind of piece and pull together. And, you know, for me, this is a big round for OGA to have to win. I know that we've kind of said the balance of it and the balance of the game, but hitting 4-2 and then going into your attacks on this against an EG defensive clubhouse, it's just so much more potential on your side.
We'll see Necrox is starting to open up this entire wall, as he has done so successfully multiple times. Yeah, this is basically what you should do here. Obviously the Capital repelling, of course, Mo, just the trusty sidekick here of Necrox, going to be able to open up this entire wall. It's a dangerous job, you know, being the Maverick.
Someone's got to do it.
Maybe indeed come out, and this whole wall is going to be made soft. It's interesting, so like he saves his fuel canister so that the entirety of the wall doesn't get made soft. He's done that. That's the second time he's done that now, because initially they were opening up the entire wall.
Yeah. I'm kind of, yeah, I guess when you're already in the role and you kind of give yourself a little bit more option for getting a bit of control on the opposite side, and it gives you some kind of flexibility, but otherwise, well, I guess we'll see if this comes together. Execration playing the C4 in Oil Pit, and I guess seeing if you can catch anyone who swings it in early, and if unchecked, this could be a pretty big gust of wind in their favor. But it's down to the droning work of EG and whether they've kind of let this one slip based on the consistency of taking this. I like how OGA is still trying new things. They've kind of seen how it's fallen apart before, and they're opting to, well, let's try something else. And there's the pre-fire coming out against Geo. Saw the first ball went down and managed to find the legs of the next. But in the meantime, it's just a matter of closing it down. The C4 goes off, but Necrox finds Abanai. In the meantime, gets the opening frag for the round. And, well, here comes the systematic shutdown that we've seen from EG so far.
Looking very good for EG right now, but as I say that, Execration finds NVK. Mo instantly trades that out. That's another C4 off the board for Obey. We still have 2 more available. Grixer, of course, did not bring the C4, as don't believe one does get one. He did bring the shield, however. That shield position is still available. And if they do go for that Capital push with the smokes, it's going to be a very, very useful position to bring through. Call out with a great shot onto Necro, 6 him off the board. And Grixer can see through the smoke right now, but is not going to help him because he's going to go down regardless. Mo finds 1, Mo finds 2. His teammate is down and Mo finds 3. Oh my god, a triple kill coming out from Mo Digger. Absolutely beautifully played there.
Really, really just well put together. And I think that's the thing about it is, it's what we're kind of...
How did he... The smoke was down and he still just rocked that guy out of it. Like, the warden was inside the smoke. I guess EG spot out that shield and figure out, okay, that's what's going to happen. Just know where that shield is between the smoke, and then just get ready to pre-fire as soon as the smokes go down. That's nuts.
Yeah, 3-3. This is what you're kind of looking at now, and you've got to try and find 3 attack wins against a clubhouse. This is when Obey have kind of got to show up.
I've kind of changed my mind about this. I
Okay.
think that normally, right, when you see a hard breacher ban on club, it's normally pretty defender-sided. But when you don't see the hard breacher ban, or you don't see like a Capital ban as well as a Thatcher ban, it tends to be attacker-sided as well, because club is all about getting stuff open.
Yeah.
And if you can just consistently get stuff open, it's not going to be an issue for you at all. And we're going to see EG are going to go downstairs. So this, to me, this was the big flaw in Obey's strategy, right? That with the Thatcher ban, this downstairs is by far the best site. The CC is not the best site with the Thatcher ban, in my opinion, with the way that the bans have gone down. Because it's super easy to get that CC wall open, and as I said, Clubhouse is all about getting stuff open. These downstairs areas, especially with the Thatcher ban, and with Kaid available, it makes it very, very defender side. We've already seen Obey take it. The problem is Obey only managed to win this in their 4th defense round, which meant they could never go back there again during the rest of their defenses.
It's always a big part as well, because this is one of those points that if you struggle with kind of quicker attacks and quicker movement, and you find yourself funneling through in the dying throws, as we sometimes see, it becomes a real nightmare to have a habit of going back to, and you find yourself with a little bit more preference towards places like CC, where you can be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more kind of, you know, knock on the door of the point much quicker. In the meantime, we can see Grixer and Abanai wasting no time, getting themselves some closed down control, and the bodies of Obey moving as quickly as we kind of, I guess, hoped and expected, because this is Obey when they're at their strongest, when they're confident, when they're aggressive, when they're kind of swimming their way through a map and trying to find as many people as quickly as possible. Their roam clear can be exceptional, but it can be exploited. Abanai almost suffers the fate there, as there's some great response from underneath.
Yeah, MVK getting very aggressive with it all of a sudden. He did a great job on Legion during Coastline. Let's see if he can repeat said strategy. As Grixer are going to be moving his Twitch drone all the way around instead. Obey, do you begin to start their roll? Abanai, as you said, very, very low HP right now. Claymores are going to go down on that oil pit rotate. No. Abanai has been downed by the Legion mine.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough ask, but at least there's no one to really pick up the frag there. Obviously, if that had happened on a closer position, or even worse, pushing it to point, that would have been you game over, really. So in a weird way, it's kind of good that it's happened there on the stairs and you get collected and picked back up.
Well, we'll see Obey continue to drone out and see what they can do right now, and see what kind of push they want to go for. But from them, it's kind of looking like a kitchen side push. They don't have that control of dirt, but it hasn't seemed really that necessary for EG to get control of dirt when they did the same push either. It's like EG are very, very prepared for this right now, as MVK getting very aggressive with things, but it's going to be Mo who kicks off things with the first kill of the round. There goes Forest, and already Capital Bolt's going to go down. MVK is going to storm through with a bit of a Stewie 2K, as Call Out is going to be planted. Diffuser down, but runs straight into the claws of MVK. And there goes Call Out, and that's Diffuser down as well. This is not looking too good. Geo moves all the way up, and Necrox is going to find one of his own as EG take the round flawlessly with a very aggressive push, realizing the big mistake in Obey's kind of strategy there, that I feel like if they put down a fire arrow at the same time as the smokes went down, in where that smokes went, NVK would have had no opportunity to push through that.
Yeah, a bit of the space control didn't quite work. And the thing about EG that they've been responding well to so far is the aggression. Because you'll see a lot of teams, they'll try and hold angles, they'll try and rely on that stuff. But what we've seen from NVK especially is no fear charging into a position, knowing that, yes, he's potentially going to get picked and traded, but if he can find one, if he can slow what is going on, that can completely swing around into their favor. 4-3, they find themselves taking it flawlessly, first flawless round of this clubhouse, and we're going to head upstairs to CC, a room that obviously EG, they've done pretty well on their attacks against. Let's see if they can try and find a way to replicate that on their defenses.
Yeah, but this is a very, very difficult site to try and hold on to. It's going to be an uphill battle for EG for sure. We'll see how Obey wants to deal with this. I'm kind of surprised that Obey's been bringing Thermite so much, honestly. They've already brought Thermite once, and they're going to be bringing it again for their CC attack. I really thought that this, for the CC at least, would be a Hibana play coming out from them. I actually like what EG are doing here. So he's shotgunned out the bottom of the server wall. Yep. So then when Obey go to Maverick it all open, this bottom bit is already going to be left soft. So it's going to be completely open. So when they make the whole wall soft, that little bottom bit is going to get opened up, and they should be able to peek out of it.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the kind of peaking moments and those kind of trades, so far when we've seen that go, well, when a Maverick's involved in that stuff, it's normally not really gone their way. So it's always the kind of balance of how aggressive you kind of want to be on those little slender peaks. And on a map like this, it obviously allows itself to be quite lent in.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, the really good thing about this is that Obey have not brought a book at all. So they're going to have to rely on Abadai for their soft destruction, it looks like. And I'm kind of wondering if they're just... So there's no Kayad, so I feel like that's kind of a mistake from EG. Because I would have thought that, you know, this is going to be, like, super easy for them to take off the board. But see Mo already having the C4 above, but this is going to be really easy for them to just Thermite it, surely now. And yeah, that's what Execration's going to do.
Yeah, so they baited the C4, and there it goes, and it does get the charge at least. No, it doesn't.
Okay, I get it now. That's really smart. I didn't even think about that. So, yeah, Thermite. C4 tricking.
It's a big UC utility.
It is, but you could find the Thermite through it.
If you find the Thermite, sure, but... I mean, yeah, the 2 Claymores on one door there is... that's like double guarantee nobody's going to come find us. In the meantime, they're steadily trying to find their way in against anyone that might be just kind of aggressively playing Garage. You know that someone's going to be holding the top angle, and it is Maestro, and it's in the hands of Young, an operator and a kind of player combination that has caused many problems and many nightmares for Obey in the play days so far. And with a minute 20, well, Obey are looking a little bit lost, it might seem. Yes, they've got the wall open, as we said, but that's a standard step by this point for a lot of teams with, well, 40 seconds more under their belt. So it's down to seeing if they can find some bit of pace as they start to try and close down on the opposite side, and, well, no joy there, unfortunately.
Not just quite yet. Just about a minute left to go on the clock for Obey to try and do something here, but they haven't even closed out Garage just yet, and NVK still lurking below with his utility.
Well, the alibi spots go off, and it looks like NVK wants to react against it. With 50 seconds left, this is the most operators we've had on the board at this point, I say, as Abinai and Execration find 2, and are able to find some ground inside. There is one back in the favor, or at least a down, and there's Abinai to shut down NVK, and Execration to find another. 2 for 2 for the pair. And now it's just a matter of Geo in the point. Drops the diffuser with 30 seconds left. All the other bodies are trying to push from as many different angles as possible to just try and dig the man out. They have time to rotate to one extra position, but can they make it work?
There's a Valkyrie camera still up in sight, and Geo can play this C4 very, very well to play his life. Smokes are going to go out as well as those Capital bolts, and they're getting very aggressive. They know it's just a 1vx right now. Geo going to get 1, but no, it can't get 2. And Obey Alliance will take round number 8. Beautiful attack coming out from them, and that's exactly what they needed to get themselves back in the race here.
Yeah, we said they needed to do something fast, and, well, they did. Execration being able to find the entry and then allow Abinai to move in and amongst them.
I can't take this, Fleet. This is too close. This is insane. This is OGA Alliance. They've just come out of Challenger League, and they're already taking Evil Geniuses, one of the best teams in their region, to the third map here in the OGA Quals. This is insane. And don't forget, the winner has to go against LG.
And it's also, they're playing with their coach.
Yeah. So, yeah, this isn't even full power OGA. This isn't even with Fozo. So, there's going to be another CC defense coming out from EG, of course. You know, I kind of thought that EG might have wanted to change it up and go to Jim instead, because that was almost a flawless round coming out from OGA.
It's a fair ask. I mean, I think the thing about it is it's how much they can kind of adapt, because it's one of the things that we've kind of commented on throughout the play day is how well they're responding to each other. And yes, it was almost a flawless, but these teams are learning. And these teams are kind of getting close on these battles and stuff like that. And, you know, they're doubling down on the CC, so they might be able to find a way to make it work this time, EG, because, you know, as I said, they're learning against each other. They're responding to each other well. And if EG have decided to go here, they might have spotted something where they go, well, we can try and change this. Because in terms of the operators and the loadouts,
also, I said last round that I thought the no Kayad was a mistake, but I actually think it's very clever from EG, right? So if they're doing this Nitro trick strategy, right, which I think is very clever, even though it didn't work, and Execration played that quite well as well, like he did the upside down repel. If they're doing that, then they want to bring the Bandit because they want Obey to open up the bottom line first. They don't want them to make the wall soft. They want them to open up just the bottom so they can take the Bandit charges off the board.
I think that's a fair, like, it's the thing about this wall. How many times have we seen teams bring themselves to this wall, and how many times have we seen teams try something new?
It's crazy. It's crazy still how adaptable teams are around. I mean, Clubhouse is not a day one map at this point, but, you know, it's still a very, very old map, and this kind of iteration of Clubhouse is still old, and we're still finding ways of working around it, and I really like it. This is a really interesting strategy that we developed here. So I'll have a look at what Obey want to do here so far. We do have the Twitch drone in the integration now, which I do like this now. So they're not going to be too fond of this whole kind of strategy, but they are going to open up the bottom bit. But we also do see now Abinai on that top right rappel, and you should be able to deny any of that going through.
Yeah, he's holding the close corner and looking for anyone that might drift a little bit close, and that's, again, adaptation. It's what we're seeing from both these teams, and it's good to see even when things go right, they're ready to try and see ways of making it go better. Nothing pops out at him, and just the moment of time allows him to drone and get a little bit of safety as they find their way in. Again, there's a big kind of space that we see in this Obey attack, at least previously, where they drone everything out. They try and find all the angles, and well, this is where we might see the adaptation from EG that causes some problems. If they can find ways to take advantage of this big space, this big time of learning and adapting an information, it could be a big swing. In the meantime, MVK is waiting in the gym. He's waiting to be able to do something as they try and deal with this Maestro brilliantly. They do.
Yeah, you put Youngin in a completely unwinnable scenario there, and he is going to get eliminated. Great use of the Capital coming out from Kola as well to force Grixer take him out as well. So this is looking good for Obey so far. They're starting to systematically tear EG apart right now. See the Valkyrie camera?
Yeah.
Can you shoot that Valkyrie camera? I'm not sure.
I'm assuming it sounded like he might have there. MVK on the deep roam now. He's rotated all the way underneath. No, the Valkyrie camera is still there. Maybe they can't quite get that one. I don't know. It's always hard. But in the meantime, Abinai gets Geo with 40 seconds left. They're setting themselves up in a slightly better position to take this with a little bit more time previously. I say they did take it almost flawlessly, but it's always nice to have cover. MVK, though, catches the man on the rotate and drops Execration. It looks like he might try and hold on, but Necrox is there to double up and take care of Forest. Brings it to a 3-3, and with 20 seconds left, this is when you kind of got to make it work. They have recollected the diffuser, and obviously MVK's got to rotate background as Abinai finds Necrox. They're waiting to see if they can do something from underneath. They have the C4s in the option, and MVK gets his double, swings around and finds another one as well, and there's Call Out, dropping MVK. A 1 versus 1. They just have to wait, just have to get this information. Gonna go for the plant, has the Nitro cell, but is going to take it clean and straight. And there is EG back in the lead.
That was insanely well played coming out from EG, just being able to play off of each other like that. NVK and Mo just bringing in the clutch like that. Just absolutely insane. Trades for trades for trades going through from EG, amazingly being able to bring it back, but also, as you said, playing that Nitro below just in case. A bit of a backup coming out from EG there. And yeah, that was a great shot from MVK. I think like his play below and to be able to take out Abadai as well on the top of stairs, MVK has just been fragging out of his mind, and so is Mo. Honestly, like these guys have been on the entry completely, and Mo being able to get that 3K the last time that they attacked here onto CC. This has been outstanding gameplay from both teams, but there has to be a winner eventually. We're gonna head into round number 10 as we go back down to that church. And also, if you remember last time, this was a pretty decisive victory coming out from EG.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of breakdown that we're seeing again, and the ability to kind of learn, but EG here were flawless, and it was really, really well put together. Obviously, as you said, the aggression from MBK through the smoke could be closed down upon.
Not just that, so like he goes through the smoke, he denies the plank going down. At the same time, we see rotates coming through from the rest of the from EG to pressure down on that kitchen hatch, because when you're in that situation, when your planter is dying, you're trying to look down the hatch, you're not concerned about your flank. So it's like the coordination of something like that to happen, like a retake like that to happen, is absolutely incredible coming out from EG. So really good stuff coming out from them. We're going to move into round number 10, but honestly, we're still very even on the board. Obey have a good opportunity now to put things solid into their favor, because EG did actually take one of these attacks during their rounds. Obey needs to find at least one more attack here.
Yeah, it's the kind of, you know, we talked about this potentially being one of the biggest even matchups that we're seeing, and it's something that's going to become habitual as we get closer and closer to the end of all this, especially in the kind of semi-final days where it's only 2 best-of-3s a day instead of 3, so it's going to be nice to see. But we're on the 36th round between these two teams.
So because there was an even round count, but I think maybe there's a coin flip, I'm not really sure what happened there, but Obey, I'm assuming, get to choose sides for this, and that's why they started defense, which means I'm assuming that EG got to pick sides for OT, and then so they should be starting OT on defense. So yeah, Obey, they can't risk this going to OT at all. They need to bring this in now.
36 of 40 rounds. We've seen so far is the maximum. Here comes a little bit of that closed down aggression as they start to get themselves open with a bit more time to work with. As we said, it came down to a little bit of a boil previously, and well, as soon as the diffuser went down once, it was from that point AG just closed down every single body. Execration's looking for anything on top, and Abunai has found his way down towards basement hallway. He's waiting for a Maestro to drift his cowboy face a little bit further wide, but in the meantime, this is pretty systematic from Obey, and pretty pacey. They're taking this more of a flat fight, and are not going to allow themselves to be caught out as they were previously. Forrest has found his way through to Trip, and is ready to start burning his way into the church, and with the cover from Execration, well, hopefully it goes a little bit better.
Well, there's both a Coyote and a Bandit on the board, but as I say, that Bandit will be removed. NVK goes down very early on. The Forest is getting so lit up, the smokes have gone down, as well as the damage from the Coyote as well, doing a huge amount of damage to Forest here. He cannot tank under the smoke, and it is going to hit him. He's going to be very low HP, and is in a very awkward position right now. There is a Coyote charge, of course, on that wall as well. That's doing that extra damage, but it also means it's going to be very, very hard for them to take it off the board. But I also very low HP, but Necroxy Smoke eventually will find Forest. That is the Maverick off the board. That is a huge pick coming up from EG. That may have just won them the round. Now in a 4v4 situation, Obey, desperate to try and get a little bit more control here over that church area. They've dedicated a lot of that push here, but oh, there goes a 9 wide peak coming out from Geo. There goes Abadai. Now moving into a 3v4. Obey, desperate to get some stuff open here, however, as Execration will start to push up, and smoke charges will go down. Young is actually injured, but Necrox will start to strike back. He'll get one, he'll get two, pushes all the way through. It's all down to Carl to try and bring this in, but he's between a rock and a hard place, and Evil Geniuses will clinch the round. Great strategy coming out from them, especially with the smoke. You've got to be a very skilled smoke not to, like, catch that smoke on the end of the side there, and just a great strategy from EG to completely shut down that push from Obey. I can't help but feel like Obey went for the wrong push there. Like, a church push was not the call when the Coyote's on the board. It was very, very difficult for them to get that Coyote out of it. They needed that wall open, and they were unable to do so. So, Match point for EG, and honestly, looking like a really good series for them, because even if they completely choked the next 2 rounds and they completely lost them, they'll go to OT, and I'm pretty sure that EG is going to start defense in OT.
I mean, it's the thing about it as well, because you're going to look at, obviously, Jim, which we haven't seen from the defense of EG yet, and the attack didn't go to plan. Obviously, OGA managed to take it, but then even if they fail this, they've got CC back on the board as well. It's a 6-5 point, which is, you know, they lost it once to OGA. Their response was good to try and pull it back towards their favor, if scrappy, but it was good, and it was a response, and it was a round, so it could be anyone's favor, really. So, yes, even if these two drop and we hit overtime, you know, there's still the possibility here for EG to pull this away. OGA, in the meantime, they will know it's this point. They might have that kind of working in their favor here. They've obviously got the potential to... Well, it's a point where you expect certain things. We're not seeing the most common strategy. We're obviously not seeing the castles on the board and that kind of side of things. But to be fair, EG haven't really been doing standard default holds on external hard walls.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. Interesting, we're not going to see impact checking coming out of here, but I guess with the Maverick being so prevalent in this particular lineup, it's not really going to be so prevalent to concentrate on the impact tracking. I definitely like the strategy of like combining the smoke with the Kaya to try and force a Maverick off the wall, but we're not going to see that just yet at all. Instead, we will see that gym bedroom pull it, of course. We'll see the Kaya be pretty prevalent here, as long as with the Bandit and the Mute as well. So plenty of hard breach now being moved through from EG here. We'll see how the rest of this goes down, but most importantly, this is 3 nitros on the board from EG.
Yeah, that's a lot of pocket utility. That's a lot that you can kind of use to slow the roll of OGA. And again, if you hold yourself with some width, as we've seen some C4s be done against these points, well, it can give you a little bit more of breathing room. I like how we can see EG have separated themselves across the entire floor. They've got bodies in CC, they've got bodies all the way down, as you see. NVK is the other end of the snake, and he's playing down in garage. So they have the ability to keep a watchful eye and collapse when they need to. In the meantime, Mo has just buried himself inside the bathroom. They've gone with the double kind of stacked reinforcements there, and they've left it more as like a dead end. And I guess they're going to try and keep that as a cornerstone of the hold. In the meantime, Forrest opens up the frags and takes care of the other end of the snake, and now it's a matter of just chopping all the other bits off.
Well, we'll see how that does indeed go down. EG in a pretty comfortable position still, however. This is starting to get dismantled. The jacuzzi wall will get successfully opened up by OGA Alliance. We'll see how that does continue to go through. Loads of drones going out into the site as well, making sure all the positions of EG, and they're quite clumped up here right now, actually. As you said, NVK off the board. That does limit the opportunities for flanking and collapsing. We'll see this really long angle being held by Necrox, as Geo is actually going to fall off through the rotating construction. This is great. We've got a Nitro underneath now, as well as potential run-out potential as well. He could also go down to dirt and do that run-out there.
Yeah, it's always a possibility, and to be fair, we've already seen runouts work on this point by Abunai, who aggressively swung out and got Young previously from Strip Club. So, well, you would assume they would at least potentially be aware from it, but I guess it would be more of a surprise in the hands of EG, especially when you've already taken off NK. Necrox holding from range, and Young buried in, waiting for more pressure against logistics, but it sounds like OGA so far being systematic. With only 30 seconds left, though, they're starting to burn flashes and starting to burn utility, and with Geo underneath with the Nitro, that could be absolutely monumental. They hit the long-range smoke. They push Necrox off, and there goes Geo below as well. The F2 finds him. But in the meantime, Mo finds one, and Young starts to apply some counter pressure. Gonna sneak around the corner and finds the diffuser planter 3-3 with 10 seconds on the board. They have to swing in and they have to go for Young, holding everything in his hands. And with 5 seconds, he's gonna sit on the angle and trust the information. Call out is aggressively pushing. There it is, the triple for Young, and there is the series. Evil Geniuses with a hell of a clutch from the hands of Young on a Maestro that has been so destructive today.
What an absolute series coming out, and yeah, sheesh, absolutely great clutch coming out from Young. He is the clutch master, and it's just been an absolute great series. What an insane series to end off the quarterfinals, and we're not even done yet. EG will of course face against Luminosity Gaming in that lower bracket.
Yeah.
The winner of that match will be invited directly to the LAN. We'll see them in December, of course, here in Croatia. What do you even say after a series like that?
excited to see the semi-finals. I think
yeah,
is the
definitely.
only fair response. Obviously, we now have all of our LATAM teams. We have all of our NA teams, but we don't have all of our EU teams. 3 more quarterfinals will be played tomorrow in
Yep.
about like 8 hours, 10 hours, roughly.
Yeah. Well, that's you in demo.
That's
I'm
me in
off for the
demo.
day, but I'll be back for the semi-finals, and you're going back home.
Yeah, I do, and I get to watch from the comfort of my own home. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for, I'm assuming, voting on Strafe and getting some points. If
Better
you
be.
want to follow everything, obviously follow the social medias, follow this Twitch channel as well, OGA, Rainbow 6-Bit is the Twitter. And we will see you back tomorrow in about 12 hours.
My God, that is absolutely stunning! They are the champions!
Predict the outcome, win the game. Get live coverage and schedules for your favorite tournaments. Analyze, predict, and vote to gain points. Compete with other esports fans and climb the leaderboards. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.